Can you walk us through kind of like what your week looked like? A little bit of engine maintenance you got to do. You know, you've
Yeah.
obviously got to unload, you've got to set the tents up, you've got to unload the car, you got to get the car prepped. So from pushing to, to kind of give an understanding of like what it's like to run at that level and to win at that level and the work that goes in.
Well, I mean, I couldn't do it with my team. I mean, without my team, I'd be screwed because it's me and then who I bring in for the most part. And leaving Homestead, Homestead was a disaster, rain, wind, sleet, whatever you want to call it that weekend. It was a mess, right? So everything from that car was, I mean, it needed to be a full prep. It wasn't just like, hey, let's throw the rock engine on it, put a top end in it, and go. And it was completely tear it apart, go through it once we got over to Tampa, and bumper to bumper the thing. And Danny and I, because of lack of budget for 2022 per se, Danny and I do that on our own. Like we fund it together. Like he helps, I help. I mean, I pay the majority of it, but he still helps a lot, financially, physically, mentally. And we spent a better part of all of Wednesday taking the car apart together and putting it back together, along with helping the other customers that are under the tent, getting them aligned, making sure their stuff was right, and focusing on everything we needed to make good effort of round two. We finished second to AJ. Had some jetting issues coming out of Vegas that we resolved for the main event on Sunday. Was able to pass them down the straightaway, which we kind of helped me believe that our power program is on the right direction. And then going into Rock, I mean, it was a complete deal again. It's like, okay, we have two engines, we make sure they're fresh, make sure the car's ready to go. Same setup again. I mean, I can't stress enough that all the hard work we've done with Brent Cruz and Danny Formal through 20 and 21 and going into 22 is like we've come across some things that really enhance the chassis and the ease of driving it and the consistency. If you look at Danny's times or Brent's times, most of their fast laps are towards the last quarter of the race, which is pretty cool when you look at it from a tuner standpoint. You nailed it. And the thing is we're not like, we were just laughing, at Orlando because we unloaded a brand new go-kart. I didn't build it. I had some people under the tent helping, and they don't know all the little characteristics of what's loose, what's tight, where these measurements need to be and everything. So they did an amazing job building it. But we unload on Saturday or Friday or Thursday, and the track wasn't great. It was right after USPKS. It had rained, so there was some. I think our tents got demolished, and we have to reset that whole deal up on Wednesday or Tuesday, and then we unload the car that was almost finished. So we finished it, right? And when we talk about what it takes time wise, and I think that's the most misunderstood level of commitment. We were there for 9 hours final prepping a car, or we're there for 9 hours race prepping it from one event to the next at the track. And you go through and you look, I mean, when you're doing that, it's like, oh, I don't really like the way this bolt feels. I don't like the way this Heim end looks. All the little stuff that wear and tear that you don't really get a chance to, when you go race to race to race, like we have been in Florida, we'll have I think 8 or 9 races in by end of April. Kind of, that's going pretty hard, right? At that level and that caliber of competition. And so we get there on, anyway, so we unload on Thursday. It's not a great day at Orlando. We get a couple sessions in. Danny and I are super impressed with the amount of grip the car has in right out of the box. We probably get a little over cocky as far as where we're at because we felt extremely confident. So we did 2 sessions on Thursday and we put it away because it started sprinkling. There was no reason to put a brand new car in the rain. So Friday we get a warm-up session and right into qualifying and pre-final or heat 1. I on Friday was not the happiest of camper because I'm like, we're missing 3/10, and this is not right. There's something's wrong somewhere. There's something wrong. 4.5, 5 hours Friday night. Axles out, steerings, bumpers, all this stuff is back off the car. Just looking at the little details. Danny's like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, nah, I mean, I think that's where our deal is. I think something's not quite aligned right or something. We've missed something. Put it back together, put the cover on it. Next morning, it's like, yep, there we are. Laid the laps down, and we had the speed to be competitive, and that's, all we're ever looking for. If we're a little bit faster, Danny's got a really keen sense of being able to be faster on a low grip track, and everybody kind of catches up to him once the grip comes up on the track. Pretty normal, when we have a couple 3/10 at the beginning of the weekend, but we're lacking 3/10. I'm like, we're in trouble. Like something's wrong. And it was just a matter of the axle wasn't in quite right. By the time it settled and everything, it was a little bit of a bind, a little seat strut bind from, what we did. And just the little finite details put the car back in the window that we never changed it again. We went from one axle in the rain. We ran it on Saturday. We ran it in the rain axle. Then we went to rain axle for the semi-dry session midday. We went back to the axle we always run for the pre-final. And that was the way we raced it on Sunday. We never changed anything.
And so now, with all that out of the way, you haven't had a whole lot of time, sure, to celebrate. Did it feel just more like a sigh of relief for a couple hours Sunday, and then you had to get back to work and back on the road Monday?
Yeah, a lot of people, I took what we were doing, as a pretty, it's pretty serious in my mind, because I don't think in history that anybody's ever won 3 rock shifter races in a championship like that in a row, let alone, pretty much like either putting on pole or off pole and then winning heat races. I think that our Friday performance was our purest performance all series long. And, so a lot of my guys and everything were like, man, what's wrong with Greg? And I don't think people, one, we're set out to win. And my attention to detail was at a higher level because let's make sure nothing goes wrong. Danny was a little bit high in intention too, because he was trying to accomplish something that, like he said, he goes, it's never been done, Greg. Like nobody's ever won 3 races in a row. It's a big deal. I'm like, well, just winning races is a big deal to me, but to be able to win 3 in a row, or like us, 5 in a row now, and all the last 5 rock national events we've won, pretty cool, and we weren't originally going to do New Orleans just because we don't have a lot of customers going and the financial looking wasn't good. And after we did that, I'm like, Dan, we're going to do New Orleans. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, we have to see how far we can take this streak. So it's pretty cool, but my guys were like, all tense. I'm like, guys, you just need to calm down because I'm going to be this way until we either win or finish the race. I'm sorry, but that's who I am. It's time to win. That's how much I care.